We're going to go ahead and get started. There's a lot of information I have to get through, and I'm going to go very quickly. This information is important for you to understand because the way international exams are done is often very different than what you're used to. So if you will take out the packet of information that you all got, first of all, let me go over some terms and ideas that are different than what we are used to. First of all, what is a paper? Paper is what internationally is termed as an exam. So your final exam will be termed as papers in both the schedule and on your cover sheet. What is an invigilator? That is somebody who is proctoring or conducting the exam. What are answer booklets? Answer booklets look like this year. They are different than they were last year. You write on all 4 pages, and there are only 4 pages to an answer booklet. Okay? If you pull out this small pamphlet, it's very important that you understand exactly how to work with one of these answer booklets. I've shown you what it looks like. Before you start, you write your candidate session number right up here. And it does not need to be written in the numbers that are like this. It's just basic numbers plus your name. In case there's a problem with your answer sheet, they can refer to that. Then when you complete the boxes, first of all, you must enter the written question number correctly. Please notice how it's written in there. It's very important that you write them according to the numbers that are here. Why? Because each answer is not, the whole packet is not sent to one grader. In actuality, every question number 1 is going to go to one grader. Every question number 2 is going to go to another grader, making it sure that it's even more fair and valid that the questions are being graded exactly the same across the whole spectrum. Now, the subdivisions of the questions go in the lines by the number. So 1A, 1B, 1A1, 1A2, so on. Okay, when you answer the questions, before you go on to the next question, you must leave at least one line between questions. That applies to subdivisions, A to B, leave a line blank, and between full questions, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Now, if you answer all the way to the line right above the next question box, you need to go down to the next question box, right 2, and go on. Okay? If you make a mistake in writing the question, you fill it in completely, both sides of the boxes, and the scanner will then reject that particular area of your exam. Or if you cross out information because you're doing an outline or something like that, then you also fill in the boxes, so the scanner doesn't worry about that. If you run out of space within one particular answer booklet, you just ask for another. Make sure again that your candidate number is written at the top of each one, and that your name is written at the top of each one. If you start a new answer booklet, write the number again that you're working on. Okay? If you go from page to page, you don't need to repeat the answer number. But if you go from booklet to booklet, you do need to repeat the answer number. Do you understand? Write on all 4 pages. Use all the paper. And like I said, you will then hand that in when you are done. What is an examination paper or examination booklet? Those are the white booklets that you will get that look like this. There are 3 different types, and we'll go over those. Please again make sure you understand the difference between an answer booklet and an examination booklet, because the instructions will ask you to do different things with each one. There are instructions at the front page of each of these that you need to make sure that you read and understand. Don't just skip over them. The pages within the answer booklet, at the bottom, it will tell you how many pages are supposed to be there. And during part of the instructions, you will be asked to flip through, and the pages are usually put at the top here to make sure that your whole answer booklet or examination booklet is complete. Now there are three different types of examination booklet. First, an unstructured examination booklet. What that means is that all of your answers and all of your work should go into one of these answer booklets. You can tell that it's unstructured because it does not have a grade bar down here, and it will not have a hole up in the corner to attach it. Again, read all the instructions and make sure that all of your answers go into the answer booklet. A structured examination paper does have a grade bar, will have a hole in there, and what that means is that all of your answers are written within the booklet. There are boxes that you will need to use to fill your answer. Now, if your answer goes beyond that box, you then write at the bottom of the box, continue in the answer booklet, and then you write the answer number here in an answer booklet and continue. So you're not restricted to your answer in this booklet, but you do need to start the answer within the booklet in the places that it asks for. A semi-structured examination paper does both. And you will especially see that in math and some of the sciences. You need to read the instructions at the beginning and make sure you understand which answers you put in the answer booklet, or in the examination booklet, and which answers you put in the answer booklet. Please make sure you understand that. I had a student 2 years ago who completely breezed over that, put all the answers in the examination booklet, half the test wasn't graded, and I couldn't have him go back. You cannot have time after the test is over to transfer answers from one to the other. There is no time for that. Okay? So you need to make sure that within the examination period of time that you do fill those out correctly. What is an examination cover sheet? There are two different types. A blue one that is used for all three answers and a yellow one that is used for multiple choice. There are only 4 multiple choice examinations. Paper 1 of biology, paper 1 of physics, paper 1 of chemistry, and paper 1 of design and technology. That's the only time you will use these. Follow the instructions. Make sure you understand what the instructions say. On the blue ones, you will be asked to fill out the examination cover sheet. It will ask you which questions you answered. If the test says you're to answer all the questions and you do answer all the questions, you just put all. If the test says you need to choose 2 of the following 10 questions, then you put 2, 3, whatever. If it says you're supposed to answer all the questions, but you only get to 9 out of 10, you put 1 through 9 down here. And also, sometimes you have to put the subsections as well. But you can see section A, question 1, section B. If they're not divided into sections, then it's just 1, 2, and usually they won't be at this point. If they are divided into sections, usually it's section 1, section 2, or so on. Make sure it gives you, again, instructions on how to do this. And you then need to put the number of 4-page answer booklets attached. Now, so if you're in a structured examination paper and you don't use any answer booklets, then you just put 0. If you use an answer booklet with a structured examination paper to continue answers or is working out, then you put 1. The examination paper is not an answer booklet. You just put the number of answer booklets you've used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. That's how you fill that out, the question numbers and the answer booklets. Any questions on the cover sheets or anything I've gone over so far? Okay. In the multiple choice, you must have a number 2 pencil, a soft lead pencil. Mechanical pencils are not allowed. You have to have just a regular pencil to fill these out. For all answers in answer booklets, it must be done in blue or black ink only. We don't do geography here, so there's no pencils needed for these. So you need to make sure you have those things with you. Rough paper or notes that are, when it's referred to that way in the instructions, those are what we call here in the United States scratch paper. They really, really, really want you to put all of your rough paper or notes in an answer booklet. That is really important. put it in there and cross it out if it's working out or if you don't want that part graded. They really do want to see you're working out, and that's why they have restricting it to be in the answer booklet and to hand it in with your other stuff. Now, especially in your essays that you write for history and for English, I know a lot of you will do some working out on the sample that they give you. Highlighting or not highlighting, circling or whatever words, important words and phrases, that's fine to do that. But when you start actually writing an outline or something like that, put it in the answer booklet. Put your outlines in the answer booklet, put everything in the answer booklet, cross it out when you finish the essay. Understand? You will get credit for that. They really want you to know that, or they really want to see that information. What is reading time? At the beginning of every exam that is not counted in what the exam length says on your schedule, you will be given 5 minutes of reading time, except for multiple choice. In multiple choice, you will not be allowed reading time. Your reading time is just that, reading. You need to make sure that you are not writing or using a calculator in any way. And I will ask you to put that stuff just out of your reach so you're not even tempted to do that. No writing. No calculators, nothing like that. Now, it's very important that you notice on these papers, it's a good one, they give you exactly how much each question counts for. It says maximum mark 6. And then in each subdivision, over here in brackets, it tells you exactly how many points each subdivision is given. Now, during your reading time, you should make yourself familiar with that. Why? Because you want to make sure you spend a lot of time on something that's worth 20 marks as opposed to something that's worth 5 marks. So it helps you plan out your time to be able to understand during that 5 minutes how to use your time to get the work done in an efficient manner and to make sure that you are on schedule in getting it done. Again, there is no reading time for multiple choice. What are string tags? Yes, I know this is strange. They are these little English banker tags that they have here. And I'll show you in just a second what you need to do with these. What is a script? A script is your final packet of answers. What it will include is your cover sheet. You stick the tag through the hole. And then following that, if it's a structured examination paper, you stick it through the hole of that paper and make sure again that your session number is written on the front of that examination paper. And then following that are any answer booklets. You will see that answer booklets also have this hole that you stick it through. And then any graph paper. If you want to use graph paper, it is available for you, especially in math and science. And that goes in the very back. Also, for those of you that are taking any Eastern language exams, you will be provided with exams for kanji and characters in Chinese. That all attached together is called your script. And this string tag is used to attach it all. Any questions about that? Okay. Here's the answer booklet. You'll see there's a page hole at the top of that as well. How should you answer questions? Please make sure you use complete sentences. We found that out after 2 or 3 years of foreign language especially. It's easy to answer in just words. Don't do that. Answer in complete sentences. Same thing has to do with math and science. Rather than saying complete sentences, show all your work. They want to see that. Cross out what you do not want graded, but show it there. Test times. The times that are listed there are exact. The times that we start and end are exact. There are no adjustments allowed. IB does not allow for changes in time at all. Unless it's 2 things, natural disaster or death, essentially. Okay, hospitalization type illness. They truly, it's natural disaster or civil unrest. That's the other 2 conditions that they give for us to be able to change a basic time for a test. So even if you do, now if you are very ill, don't come and make sure we get an understanding of that. If it's shown that you're not very ill with a doctor's note or something like that, they are very understanding, great, lovely. They won't count that particular test if you've done enough other work. However, if you've not done enough other work, they'll say, great, good, you get better, do everything, come back in November, and that's when you can take the test. They won't let you take it a day late. They won't let you take it after you get out of the hospital. You have to wait 6 months till November during the retake session. You won't be charged, but that's how anal they are about their security. Okay? They will not allow you to take it late under any circumstances. So make sure you clear your schedule well ahead of time. And you need to be there for the entire time that is listed on the schedule for your exam. Okay? Any questions about that? Now, it's very important that I go quickly through the conduct of examinations because this is very important that you all understand this. It's what's posted in each examination room. It's right now posted outside the IB room, and you need to understand these. Know what your session number is. I won't have your session numbers there. Now, you can also know that it's also written on the top, on the front of your cover page. I whited it out on this one because it has to do with somebody who dropped an exam. When instructed to enter the room, do so in a quiet, orderly manner. When you enter, begins your examination time. Once you go through the door, you're not to talk, you're not to socialize, look around, or anything else. Please make sure you are listening to this. This is not something that these are rules of IB, and if you're not following them, I have to write you up, and you can be, I have to, and I hate doing that. Last year I had like 9 different things I had to write up. Please don't make me have to do that again. All personal items will be placed in the back of the room. Make sure you understand that. Find your station by finding the cover page. That's where you sit. That's how I do the singing chart. You must be seated and at your testing station in the room on time. No form of refreshment except for bottled water. I do allow you to bring in bottled water, but do not set it on the table with you for obvious reasons. Set it down by your chair. Okay? If you have necessary medication or you do need necessary stuff for medical conditions like diabetes, just let me know beforehand, and I will instruct you on what to do with that. Candidates may only take to the table general stationery, pen, pencil, eraser, geometry instruments, ruler. At the very least, you should bring a pen, a pencil, an eraser, and a ruler or a protractor to each examination. At the very least. Okay? Bring 2 pens in case one runs out of ink. I'm not supposed to provide you with pens or pencils. Okay? Bring 2 pencils in case one has the lead break. Just make sure you have it. If I skip over anything that I'm going through here, you are still responsible for it. So make sure you review this on your own. Translating dictionary is only allowed for some examinations and only with prior approval, if you need that because your mother tongue is another language. Other materials that are specified. Now, there are things specified in the packet, in the examination schedule, that you have to bring in some examinations. Right now, this wording is that calculators are required where it's listed. Not optional, it says required. That tells me that you have to have a calculator to have it there. And I'll go over how to deal with that in a minute, but you need that. You cannot bring any other scratch paper or anything. All of that will be provided. No notes, no textbooks, anyway. If any of that is shown that you have, you can be held in breach of regulations. Remember that anything that you are responsible for is on the schedule and it says student supply responsibility. If you bring anything in, I have the right to inspect it, so understand that that's the case. No electronic devices whatsoever at your station. No phone, no clock, no smartwatch, anything like that. A basic wristwatch is all you can have. And it has to stay on your wrist. Okay? So nothing else. And they are very, very strict with that. They'll nullify your test if you have anything with you. Okay? Calculators. I don't know these newfangled calculators you all use. I don't know what they are, and I don't want to learn in my 29th year of teaching. But at the back of this packet is guidance for you on calculators. Calculators, the minimum requirements for the calculators, and then specifics. You are to know what is allowed and what is not allowed on your calculator. Period. Okay? If you bring in a calculator that is not allowed, you're done. Okay? Cannot be used to store data, programs, or applications, or examination materials, or examination questions. You cannot conceal what you're doing on the calculator. We have to be able to see that at all time. And if it's necessary for me to examine it afterwards, you need to let me do that. It must be from one of the approved calculators list. You must go through this process when you do have a calculator. The day before the test, whether it's a morning or afternoon test, you must turn your calculator into Mr. Hurlin. Now, for those of you doing math studies, you can turn it into Ms. Clakus. They know what calculators are allowed. They know what programs are allowed. They will go through and clear it. So if there's anything saved on there that you need saved on your hard drive, then you make sure you do that. They will go through and clear it completely. They then give the calculator to me. I take it to the test. They cannot give it to you to take to the test. They must give it directly to me. And I take it to the test. If you use it the next day as well, I keep it overnight so that you can use it the next day for that test as well. Yes?
So you would like us to put our names on it?
You must turn it in with your name at the back. If you are borrowing one of their calculators, you need to determine which one you're borrowing, put your name on the back of it with tape as well, and hand it in to them to clear. Okay? Any questions about the procedure for calculators? I tell you where you will sit. Do not move papers around. Do not move chairs around. The chairs have to be exactly a certain distance apart. So don't move it in because you want to be more comfortable. No. Right there. If there's a problem with your comfort, you can ask me about it, and I'll see whether or not I can move you around. Okay? The instructions of the coordinator and vigilator must be obeyed. I have the right to expel you from examination for any reason that I perceive as disruptive. I've talked about the 5 minutes of reading time, but again, I remind you, no writing, no work on the calculator. It needs to go completely away from you. Your handwriting needs to be legible. You will not be graded on penmanship, but if your grader can't read your writing, they can't grade your test. Okay? So make sure that it's legible. If you start to write something and make a mistake and you don't want that graded, cross it out and start again. You'll not be given scratch paper. All of your notes need to be in an answer booklet, and those will be turned in. Okay? Line drawn through any work that you don't want graded. Again, here it says, do not use the unstructured examination paper for any major working out of answers. Write your work in an examination booklet. Answer in the designated boxes. Make sure you do answer in the designated boxes. And then continue on into an answer booklet if you need to. Don't write outside the box. Don't write in the gray bar in the middle. The gray bar in the middle is where they cut the test. So anything you write in the gray bar will be cut and thrown away. Anything that's outside the box may be in danger of not being scanned. So make sure that it's in there. If you have a break between different tests, you may have refreshments. We will actually have refreshments here for you. You may discuss the test with other people in the test outside. You can. You can consult your notes. You can consult your textbook. You can do anything you want during the break within reason. Except text or use your cell phone in any way. And text someone in Hawaii what the questions were. And that sounds ridiculous, but it's done every year. Okay? After 60 minutes for arrival, you must be on time. Late arrivals will not be permitted. It will take away from the time of your test. After 60 minutes, under any condition, you will not be permitted, unless it's really a valid reason, like you've been in a car accident or something, and then I will decide whether or not you need to take it there or reschedule. In cases of emergency, you may be able to leave the examination and return. However, let me just say this. Go before you go. Okay? Go before you go. Restroom before here. If you have to go to the restroom, we can allow you to go accompanied. I must send an invigilator, either me with the boys or one of the mothers with the girls, if you have to go to the bathroom. Truly, I have to. I know that sucks, but I have to. They have to accompany you in there, and they have to accompany you back. So go before you go. Just go before you go. If you need to go, just know and understand that's going to be what happens. Okay? You can't take any material with you or bring any material back with you. Academic misconduct. One of the things is a candidate must not communicate with any other candidate in any way. I had to write up somebody who was doodling on their paper little cartoons about people and showing them to other people. I had to write that up. I had to write up somebody who mouthed something to someone across the room. Just 4 words. And that person, their test was nullified by IB because they did that. You are not to communicate in any way with anyone else in the room. When you're done, don't look around. Just sit quietly. Okay? All work completed during examination and then submitted for assessment must be the authentic work of the candidate. Do not try to impersonate any candidate, and I know that sounds weird, but people have done that through time immemorial. Okay? If you accidentally bring in unauthorized material, and you will hear me saying the instructions every time to check for cell phones. But if you have zoned out, which I hate, and you do find that you have a cell phone or something there and you discover it, you have to let me know as soon as you find out. I do have to report it, and IB will decide whether or not to nullify your test. You are not permitted to borrow anything. So don't come in and say, can I borrow a pistol? No. The answer is no. Okay? Bring your stuff with you. You are not to gain or solicit information about the content of an examination within 24 hours of the examination, which means that you can't contact your friend in England to find out what the examination questions were. Neither can you, after you've taken the examination, tell your person of life what they thought of the examination. Okay? You can only talk to your teacher and the other people that are taken here for 24 hours on either side of the examination. IB is extremely anal about their security, to the point that there are different tests for different time zones. Don't even discuss it. Don't even. Okay? At the end, early departures. I don't believe in early departures. Let me say this about that, too. If you finish an IB examination with more than 10, 15 minutes left of the time, then you come in unprepared for that IB examination. You should be able to take the full time. Why? Because IB wants to continue to drill down deeper and deeper in your answers. So don't pride yourself on getting done an hour and a half test, getting done within a half an hour. No. It means you were unprepared. And if you do get done and you have extra time, you think, ooh, there's more that I want to add to this answer over here, then write that question number at the end of your examination booklet and continue that essay or that answer. You are allowed to do that. Okay? And the scanner will pick it up. Everywhere there's a number 1, they will pick up that and group it together into number 1. Okay? In any case, you are not allowed to leave for any reason within the first 30 minutes or the last 15 minutes of an examination. At all. So, I have a track meet. I'm sorry. Clear the schedule. Clear your schedule for those exams. There's nothing I can do. Okay? At the end of the examination, there will be instructions again that you will need. The biggest thing is compiling your script, putting the string tag in. Once time is called, you need to stop writing completely. Whether you're in the middle of a sentence, in the middle of a word, or whatever, stop. The only reason you open the answer booklet or examination booklet is to check which questions you answered or to cross out stuff you don't want graded. Nothing, no other reason to have that open. Okay? I think I've covered all of their stuff. Let me go through the testing procedure that we have. Examination room should be open about 10 minutes before the examination. Seats are assigned. You can find it by finding your cover sheet in the packet inside it. It will be attached with a string tag. Once you get there, undo the string tag, put your cover sheet off to the side, and check your answer booklets that are there to make sure that they are totally blank. Okay? Also check if there's a data booklet or anything else that's provided for you. Check to make sure that there's no writing or anything, any part of that. I will start the examination instructions on time. The instructions I have to read verbatim. And you will probably, seniors especially, know how to read them with me by the time we get to the end of it, because I have to read them verbatim each and every time. We will start on time. The paper packets, the examination paper packets that are hermetically sealed by IB, I have to open in your presence. So once you are in the room, I will then open them and hand them out. When they are put down, do not open the examination paper for any reason. Instructions will be read verbatim, and you will be asked to check the details on your exam paper to make sure that they're correct. That it's paper 1 when it's paper 1, paper 2, higher level if you're higher level, standard level if you're standard level. The details on your cover sheet you're supposed to check as well. And then you will be asked to check the number of pages in your exam booklet. This is not the way you check the number of pages in your exam booklet. No. This is the way you check the number of pages. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, don't be reading and examining the examination booklet. When I tell you to check the pages, just do that. Check the pages. But don't do that until you're instructed to do so, and then immediately close it. 5 minutes are allowed for reading time. Do not write at all. Do not use your calculators. Final instructions will be given after the reading time, so when you hear my little beeper go off, do not immediately start writing. Listen for the final instructions, and then when you are given the go-ahead, go ahead. You must stay the entire time. Time warnings will be given to you at 30 minutes and at 5 minutes. When time is called, stop writing immediately. Stop when told. Don't finish anything, just stop. I have to write up if you even write after I say anything. Okay? After time is called, only open the answer booklet or structured paper if you need to check questions or cross out work that you do not wish to be graded. You can do no other writing. Then compile the scripts as instructed. I must collect all material before anyone exits. When it's said that you're done, you cannot whoop and holler and rejoice and do cartwheels as you go out. You must leave in a, quote, quiet and orderly manner from the examination. Cartwheels are optional once you leave the room. Yes, okay?
You just see like all these items.
But you need to remember, too, that there may be accommodations for some people that are happening, and they may be continuing the test. So don't disturb them. Okay? You will be excused for the exam time, but for the exam time only. If the exam ends in the middle of the period, you are to go back to that class period. You can't go to the IB room. You can't go to lunch. You go back to your period. If it starts in the middle of the period, you can leave 15 minutes before to go. But that's it. The exceptions are if you have a morning test and an afternoon test, having lunch, having something to eat in the middle. You can make sure. If your exam starts at noon, you can take a lunch to make sure you are there, have lunch before noon. Yes?
When these like slips are lower, teachers be understanding like
They will be understanding. Okay? Okay, make sure you bring the following. Calculators provided you need to bring for these tests. A graphic display calculator for Math SL and Math HL. Earphones for the music test. And any additional materials. Now, this schedule is the latest that is correct except for on Wednesday, May 13th. It says all morning test students meet to go on the bus. We're not going to be doing that. We were able to fit all of the Spanish kids here, in here, so you will be doing that one here. However, on May 12th, you will be going to the district building. You must ride the bus. Unless you are coming from an outlying area, you can be dropped off at the district building and then ride the bus back, or if it's not an afternoon test, they're just morning, so that's the only thing. Do not drive to the district auxiliary building. There's not parking for students there. Okay? So you can be dropped off and then ride the bus back with us, or you need to ride the bus. Okay? It's only that morning math test, yes. All the other parts of the schedule are listed on here. Please note that all tests, afternoon tests, start at 12 o'clock except Tuesday, May 5th. English HL paper starts at 12:30. Why? The math test is notorious for going late. The AP math in the morning. So rather than you panicking at the end of your test and running around like a chicken with your head cut off trying to get to where you need to be, we're starting that particular test at 12:30. Every other afternoon test starts at 12. Every morning test starts at 7:30. Any questions about any of this? The test at the district's auxiliary building for math is a hassle. You need to follow the instructions carefully. Those of you who were involved last year know I had to write up a whole room for talking after they got their calculator and walked to the room. No, don't. Follow the instructions explicitly. I know, but I'm a rule follower too. And if I'm being told to write things up, I'm going to write things up. So just don't put me in a position to do that, because I will, if I have to. Okay? Any questions you have about these testing procedures? A recording of this session will be placed on the IB webpage, so you can review it later if you need to. All of the information in there, if I skipped something, you still are responsible to know. So make sure you review it and know it, backwards and forwards. Okay? Make sure you take all of this information with you. Thank you for being here.